Hey everybody, it's Marina. I'm in a little bit of a different environment today because I'm actually in my living room doing this. Normally, obviously I do these videos in my office, but it's Saturday and it's the day after Christmas and I didn't want to go to my office, but I did want to do this. So I decided to do a little compromise and do this. It's kind of like a special situation anyway, because today I am going to walk through my own goal-setting workbook. So I published it on Christmas Eve on Gumroad. It's at gumroad.com/marinaisgo. This 2021 goal-setting workbook starts at $6, but you can pay what you want above that. And it's 17 pages. I wrote it myself. It's all you know, talking about goal setting in a way that is meant to be like really accessible and friendly and kind of like my personality and not stuck up or like snotty, you know? Like I think sometimes in the planner world we can really, I don't know what the word is, like we get high on our own supply. We think that because we're good at planning that like, I don't know, it does mean something. You know, I like to be a planner. I like to work on planner stuff. I really like having a planner and all that stuff, and it really helps me to stay organized. But sometimes my friends will be like, "Oh, Marina, you're so organized." And it's like, maybe, but this is something that I feel like anyone can do if they want to do it and if that works for them. Like sometimes people they don't do planner stuff because that doesn't work for them. Hold on, let me take a drink. You know, so we shouldn't, I don't know, we just like, in this culture, we just have this like real worship of the written word. And just because that's good, I'm good at that and that's good for me, doesn't mean that that's the way you should think, you know? Just because we get rewarded for being good at writing in our lifetime. So anyway, I wanted this 2021 goal setting workbook to be like a thing you could sit down and do in like an hour or 30 minutes or so. I only have 30 minutes because that's how long, like my phone won't record for more than 30 minutes. So my watch is dead, so we're just gonna try and wing it. But I wanted to go through it and give you a feel for like how easy it is to just jot down a couple of goals or like do a little bit of review for your year. So this is the first page. It's basically like who the workbook is for, and then it says a little bit about why I made it. This is the second page. It says why you should listen to me. Here's some of my qualifications. It even has a little thing for you to fill in if you know me. And then this is a page where we talk about basically like the myths and the realities of goal setting. You know, there is this idea that there's like a certain type of person that's like a planner person or a goals person. And, you know, yeah, there are some of us who are more goal oriented than others, but like I was saying before, like that's just kind of all just cultural bullshit. Like if you want to do your goal setting in a different way than you've seen other people do it, like just do it. You know, there's no right way to think and plan about your life. There just isn't. So, you know, talking about that. And then this is something I'm going to put here and keep here as I work through the workbook. It's called the Overly Critical Internal Voice Jail. As you're going through the workbook, when the internal critical shithead starts to say mean or stupid or irrelevant crap, write it here and trap that little asshole. So that's important. I'm not going to write it on here because this is the original. So just in case I want to go back and like look at this at a later date, I'm not going to write on this thing, but I'm actually going to write it on the same notebook I made it on, which is this MD paper notebook. I'm pretty sure this is Tomoe River paper, which is what's in my Hobonichi, and of course I have my tools of the trade, and I'm actually going to be writing the majority of this in my Pilot Falcon, which is my everyday writer, and it's in my planner. So Given that spirit, let's write our own overly critical internal voice jail. So we'll put that right here. I know it's off screen right now, but I'm going to be working in here, and then I'll bring this over here while I work. So this is the first page. Page 4 is the first page where we have like workbooky stuff in the workbook. We've established that this workbook is for you, that I seem cool, and that goals are for everybody. So let's start the work of the workbook by saying goodbye to 2020. Things I'm leaving in 2020, aka hell, where they belong. So this is just shit that I'm happy to be rid of in 2020. So, and here's my overly critical internal voice jail. I'm just gonna call this header good riddance. To 2020. So one of the things that I got rid of in 2020 that I think, you know, not a lot of people would maybe put down, but insecurity, you know, and also my old job. I think those two things are really important to say goodbye to. And also I don't miss either of them. There are a lot of people at my old job that I'm really going to miss and that I love. And also I'm really glad I don't have that job anymore. I don't want to say that I don't want to say that I left my fear in 2020, but I left my love affair with fear in 2020. And by that, I mean, you know, fear is so seductive, you know, like you get into this situation where like you're afraid of stuff and you just get sucked in, and then you don't have to be brave or make big choices or like be declarative about your worth, because you can just be in love with fear. So that's like a big one, I would say, you know. And then I would also say I left a sort of like predictable, like even before the pandemic, I had a job that was predictable. I had a life that was predictable. You know, I could have made a move that was a fairly predictable move and had a little bit more of the things I was looking for, you know, money, security, flexibility, etc. And I just was like, no, that's really not who I am. Let's be honest. And then also, I think part of the things that I left in 2020 are like, what's the word I'm looking for? Self-abandonment. And then, of course, there's several people that I won't write down in here because that's not something I want to put on the internet. There's also some stuff that otherwise would go on here, but I'm not going to put it online. But what I mean by self-abandonment is that, like, I used to, like, harm myself for other people's convenience. I don't know if you can hear her, but my cat's here. And I'm not into that anymore. So, and then my overly critical internal voice just said, yeah, you've gotten really bitchy. So let's just put that down there. You've gotten really bitchy. And trap that motherfucker. All right, so let's move on because let's see, how are we? We're at 9.5 minutes and we've got a few more pages to go. So that's the kind of stuff I would put in here. And then this, the altar of big grief as well as smaller grief. This is where we put the things we lost in 2020 that we're really, really, really gonna miss. Or even some we're only gonna miss a little. And I just, I'm just going to write big grief. So, I should underline this too, because that's a section. Obviously, you can hear me, I got kind of choked off because this year was the year that my grandma died. And she was a really complicated person, but I loved her a lot. I will miss her a lot. So, really sad about that. And these are the kind of things that, especially in a year like 2020, you don't think about it. You don't have time. You know, she passed away in June, which was like the worst month of the year for me. I was so down. My business wasn't working out. And I couldn't really spend a lot of time mourning. So that's the kind of stuff that comes up when you do a big end of year review. And then I'm also going to write down Letter-O-Matic. And the reason, those of you who know me, my cat is still meowing. Hi, cat. The reason that I wrote down Letter-O-Matic is because Letter-O-Matic was born in January 2020. Got a bunch of cat. I petted her, and her bunch of cat hair just went. So anyway, Letter-O-Matic was born in January, and it was going to be a newsletter writing service. It was going to be super simple. That's all I was going to do, is just write newsletters for people. And then the pandemic happened, and then George Floyd happened. I'm going to put him down here too, because his death was just, a lot of people get murdered by the police every day. And they're all important, and all of their losses are significant and horrible. And also, watching that man die was, I've had a hard life sometimes, and it was one of the more traumatic things of my life. So, he's going to be on there. And also Breonna Taylor. Is it B-R-E-O? I'm a bad speller, so I am really sorry if I misspelled her name. It's not out of disrespect. It's the fact that I'm really crappy at spelling. So, this is the altar of big grief. There's a lot of other people, you know. There's a ton of other people. Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Oh, God. I've just forgotten his name. That amazing senator from Georgia. Sorry, when I'm not recording, I'll of course remember it. But there's big grief for a lot of stuff. But the reason I put, sorry, I got distracted. The reason I put Letter-O-Matic on here is because Letter-O-Matic is being subsumed by my new company that I'm starting, which is a consulting firm, because a lot of people knew me before this YouTube stuff that I'm doing. I had a reputation as being kind of a hard ass on equity, even though I was a comms consultant and even though I did comms and communications. And people started contacting me to do work for them with that equity lens that I was well known for having. And I stopped doing newsletters for people, really. So now I do a lot of consulting, which is great, but Letter-O-Matic is not the name of a consulting firm, an equity comms consulting firm. So we're starting a new business. Letter-O-Matic is going to be absorbed into the new business, and that'll be the end of Letter-O-Matic, which I have grief around this because I had a plan and I had hopes for this small business. And I also have a lot of, you know, this gave me a lot of stuff that I'm going to build on and do more with in 2021. So it's important to accept and like mark those big griefs. So let's go to the next page. And actually, overly critical internal voice just said something. What did they say? You're cavalier. About serious emotional issues. And then I also heard a little bit of a poser in there for listing Breonna Taylor because I didn't know her, but her death and George Floyd, their deaths were really impactful. So I'm just, that's what my brain is saying, but it's not true. They had an impact on me beyond. I mean, it's not like RBG and I were friends. But anyway, let's move on. 2020 sucked. And there were also some good moments. Write those down here. Good moments. Let's see. December 1, 2020. 2020 was the day I realized that it was not my lowest earning year. A-R-N-I-N-G. Told you I'm bad at spelling. Year. That's amazing. Let's see, we're at 16 minutes. Okay. That was amazing. That was just, great. I'm gonna say, abandoned vacation. Me and my husband rented an entire house by ourselves and socially distanced and everything, but went to the beach and just, the love and the beach and the fucking break from this bananas stuff was really, really awesome. I'm also going to say family Zoom. My family and I, if you don't know this, you don't follow this channel, we Zoom every week with each other because I had a goal when I was setting my goals for 2020. I had a goal to visit the people I love. And I was like, how the fuck am I going to accomplish this goal when I can't fucking visit these people? And I was like, why did I want to visit the people? Well, I wanted to visit the people because I wanted to connect to the people I love, to see them. And so I've been doing a ton. We did family Zoom. I've been doing a ton of like texting, calling, writing letters and stuff like that to friends. So that's nice. There's more, but let's move on. Like I said, I'm not going to put everything on here because there's just some stuff that isn't appropriate to tell the internet. Personal wins. List the times you beat this fuck of a year back and snatched victory from the jaws of defeatist 2020 bullshit. I mean, these are similar, but personal wins. I'm going to say January 3rd, 2020. That was an important date to me. I'm not going to go into details, but that was a fucking day. Yes, that was a good day. I am also going to say goals. I had goals in 2020, you know, that I set. And in fact, I have this goals bookmark. Let me open my planner real quick. I have this goals bookmark. Where'd it go? Where are you, buddy? Here it is. That I keep in my planner. This is a bookmark. I see it just about every day. And my goals for 2020 were prioritize my mental health, earn enough money for the life I want, center friends and family, cultivate a home that sparks joy. And I have achieved those goals. Like, I am achieving every single one of those right now. In the same way that I thought I would at the beginning of 2020? Fuck no. Hell no. And yet, they're still being achieved. And I think that's why goal setting to me is important. Not because it's going to make my life perfect, but because it helps me to make sure that when this shit hits the fan, and you know it does, it's not going to take everything with it, you know? So that's really cool. I'm going to start a new page. Put that over here, and then put this behind here. Write your own manifesto. My name, let's see, is Marina. I'm not going to write my whole long ass name because I don't need to do that right now. You know who I am. I know who I am. I represent years of hard work, and generations of resilient. How the fuck do you spell resilient? I know you're telling me. R-E-S-I-L-I-E-N-T. Resilient bitches. I say it with love. I come from, I'm just gonna say the heart. I do a lot of this shit with heart. Oh, I should have put a period there. Period. Something, noun. What's important to me? People. Is important to me? Well, you know what? We'll just say are. This is your workbook. You can cross shit out if you want. Are important to me. That's why I put my human needs and connections first. This shit is just coming off the top of my head. So if you listen to this and you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? That's okay. Overly critical internal voice just said, you make shit up. I do, girl. That's why my life is okay. Because if you don't have it, you got to make it up. Okay. Well, that's why I put, yes, I did just call my internal voice girl. Put my human needs and connections first, above all other things. Period. I'm good at talking, relationship building, and being fucking daring. When I was a kid, my parents would always say, do you think you're special? And you know what? I do. And I am. And you are too. If somebody tells you, do you think you're special? Say, yeah, I am and you are too. Nobody told them that they were special. Or in fact, people told them that they weren't special. That's why they say shit like that. Because they're working off a wound. I love life. And myself. That's some shit I couldn't always say. How about that? Interview section. Okay, let's see. How much time do we have? Oh, we're at 23 minutes. Shit. Let's not go through this interview section because it's going to be long. But, well, let's go through it, but let's not me answer it in writing. I'll do this later. If you no longer had to pay your smallest bill, what would you use that money for? I would like to say that I would put it back in savings, but I think I would just buy another similar product. My smallest bill is like Netflix. So I'll probably get like Hulu instead. Like, it gives me enough value that I wouldn't get rid of it. You know what I mean? Or, but what if somebody else paid my Netflix? I would still get another streaming service. Because I like a bunch of media, but I kind of was like, you know what? We're only going to do Netflix. All this shit is too much. If you and only you, what about your largest bill? Ooh, girl. I would put it into savings right now. That's what I would do if I didn't have to pay my largest bill. That sounds hokey, but it's true. And pay more people to do more shit around my house. There's a lot of stuff that our house needs that we're not doing it right now because we don't have that kind of money. It's like kind of a big ticket item. If you and only you had a secret 8th day every week, what would you do? On the first week, sleep. Motherfucking sleep all day long. On the 24th week, I'd probably be writing a memoir. On the 52nd week, still writing a memoir. It does take a long time. How do you resist the racist capitalist systems that are designed to extract labor and value from you for the benefit of the super rich? In small ways. I sleep when I want to sleep. and I eat when I want to eat, and I don't let anybody tell me when I should be, what I should be doing in that regard. That's easy for me. I own my own business and I'm the boss. And nothing I do is really time sensitive. In long-term ways, I'm building a business with that at the center, and I'm going to bring on people, and we're going to have that at the center of the business regardless of, you know, whatever else. And then hopefully I'll build an entire business that is profitable and still centers human needs. And then we can really, what's called disrupt the market. What question do you want to be here, and what's the answer? I guess what question I want to be there. Obviously, I wrote the fucking question. So it's kind of hard to be like, that's the question I want to be there. That's why I put it there. But I guess it would be like, you know, I wish that I had had the foresight to have people list a thing, like a list of things they like about themselves or qualities they appreciate. And then here's the thing. Let's talk about selfish dreams for a minute. Every person on this planet is born or develops their own values. Basically what this is saying is that as a human race, we need diversity to solve our collective problems. Climate change, capitalism, racism, etc. If everybody woke up tomorrow in lockstep with each other and decided that there was one right way to solve these problems, we probably wouldn't solve them well. Because that's not how the world is. There's so much diversity of experience and situation in this world. We need a lot of different people having a lot of different solutions together to solve these problems. So the only thing selfish about your selfish dreams, you know, maybe you were told that the thing you want to do is selfish, or that it puts other people in a bind because you don't show up to do work you're supposed to do, whatever that means. Don't fucking pay attention to that negative shit. Because when you really embody your own dreams, your own what you bring to the table, your own values, your own inborn personality and shit, you're lending to the diversity of the problem solving on this planet. And so therefore the only thing selfish, or the only way that you could have selfish dreams, is if you don't dream them and you don't pursue them in your way. So let's talk about that. And then the dream me and the real me. How much time do we have? We have like 3 minutes. Dream me and the real me. So this is an unrealistic. I write a wild, unrealistic dream. So that's, you know, have 5 kids, own a mansion, go to Greece, write a book, get a degree, get another degree. You know, whatever, you know, learn to love my thighs. I mean, mine would be, I've always had a very positive relationship with my thighs, but some people don't. You know, go fully transition, buy a home, become a teacher, start a school, move to Canada, move to Brazil, like whatever crazy thing feels unrealistic over here. And then right over here, you write something that you could do. So if going to Greece is your unrealistic dream, you could buy a book on Greece, or you could put, I know that looks like it might say 101. That could be possible for people. But I put $10. $10 a month in a Greece fund. Or you could buy a book on Greece. All these things, you know. And I put 2 pages of that because I wanted room for all of the dreams. And then actual goal setting. Wait, how much time do we have? Yeah. Okay, good. So you pick 1 to 5. And you make this map. You put your dream on one side, you put your thing you could do today on the other side. And then you draw a map between those things. And it's all the little things that you could do to get there. This is not a plan. This is just a visualization of the fact that it is possible in this world for you to get from here to there. That's it. Don't think of this as a real plan. This is more like you exercising your mind in the world of possibility. And then step 1 is take that task that, you know, buy a book on Greece or start a Greece fund, and just put it on your calendar to do it. And then ask for the support you need to do it. And then you do it. That's it. Now you're goal setting. Now we're at the end of the book. I'm hurrying, of course, because we don't have time, but that's that. See you later.